Yep, that's the leaf blower. Can you even see him? Just leaf blowing. Leaf blowing the snow. All day. All day.
Welcome back to FU. This is Zachary.
And I'm Thomas.
With this podcast, we're ripping off filters, diving deep into queer discussions, and traversing controversial Reddit posts.
We're here to make you laugh, think, and maybe question your life choices.
Because not only are we flaming,
We're unfiltered. Welcome.
Hello, welcome back.
Happy 2024.
Woo.
It's been a whole year.
New year, new me.
Since we've last seen you.
I'll see you next year.
Yeah, I didn't get any see you next year jokes in. I had to throw it in like the credits in the last episode, so I had to throw it in.
I had to put it in this.
Right in this.
This will be your year to do it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 2024 to 2025, that's an all.
It's my year to shine.
Yeah. It's my year because I've never done it before.
Yeah, absolutely that.
Never. I'm wearing my Come and Gay Rights shirt, which is from Come and Go.
That's from a while ago.
Yeah.
What was that for?
You know, I don't remember.
I was thinking about that. There's a gas station in Waite Park called Pump and Munch. I'm like, Come and Go, Pump and Munch. Who is naming these places?
They're trying to get
trying to get gas, not horny.
Yeah, exactly. I remember one time, actually shout out, this story is about my mom, so shout out mom. She is maybe watching the podcast. She said she might check into it, which is nice. That's nice of her.
Yeah, support from mom.
I don't know how long she'll make it in though.
We're pretty trashy.
Yeah. And this story revolves her and Come and Go. And I remember one time, like, we were at a restaurant or something, and the window of the restaurant, Come and Go was like the display, you know, across the street or whatever. And I just remember her going, "That's an awful name."
It is. It was like,
but I think it's funny now.
I guess like Come and Go. Well, when was it started? Like back then, people were like, "Yeah, you just come and go. It's really easy and convenient." And now, 50 years later, I don't know how old it is, but now we're all like, minds are in the gutter.
The whole hallway smells like cum.
The whole hallway smells like cum.
Yeah, what's for real. Yeah, we're in season 2 of the podcast. Super exciting. It's our 10th episode.
Ooh.
I just realized that as I was getting this ready. I'm like, 10, it feels like 20, or, you know, feels like more than 10, that's for sure.
I feel like we've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Reggie's in a right state.
I know, this might be several recording options, depending on how naughty everybody's getting. I think it's a full moon coming up, that's why.
Well, and to be fair, he slept all day.
Why?
Because Zach slept all day.
I'm so tired. I'm sleepy.
Every podcast shooting morning, I'm up at like 7 a.m. I'm getting ready.
Thomas is the whole house.
And I just sit there.
The whole house is ready. The whole pod loft is ready.
Yeah.
Thomas is dressed, ready to go, just sitting there.
Just waiting for Zach to arrive.
Fully caffeinated, and then here's me at 1.
As 2023 ends, well, by the time this episode comes out, it will be officially 2024. What are our 2024 predictions?
Oh, Michelle Obama for president.
I know, that's my number one. Who's going to be prezi?
Oh, I mean,
Michelle Obama.
No.
That'd be kind of
cool. She said no. She's like, I'm not doing that.
Well,
like,
yeah, it's a little too late.
It's never too
late.
Like
now they're like running, aren't they?
I mean,
they're not walking, they're running. I don't know how it goes, really.
It's either an old senile man / Kamala running the show, or we have a new Hitler for our leader. So
yeah,
it's a horse apiece, kind of.
I would be okay. So like, I've already said that, and here we go again with the politics. I always cut this shit out, but when Trump was running, we were like, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like this is embarrassing.
So you never freaking know.
I mean, I feel like he's got a large cult following, so
Like, okay, so like this is what happens. Because like, say what you want about Biden, like obviously he's
150 years old.
Okay, better than Trump or worse.
I guess, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, say what you want about Biden and his, whatever. I don't know anything, but at least he's not a freaking misogynist.
Right, at least he's not
grabbing him by the pussy and, all this and all that.
He's not a white supremacist, so that's a good
So as long as there isn't a...
step.
Well, I mean, we don't know he's a white supremacist, but at least he's not publicly...
Are you talking about Biden?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about the orange one. He's a white supremacist.
I know, but I'm saying we don't not know.
I don't know. He's cool with Kamala. Mamala.
Anyways, I'm sure there's plenty to be said about the situation.
Yeah,
but we're not the experts.
I don't know.
So my question is, who will be prezi? What is it? It's Biden and Trump running?
Yep. There's no other options.
Cool. 2020 all over again.
Yeah.
No big deal. My number 2 question is, where will Britney be?
I hope, here's my prediction, her and Rihanna are going to do a world tour.
No. Well, that would be it. Okay. That's a good...
I don't know.
Yo, dude. You being wild.
He's being extra naughty. He got a bath, so he's all clean.
Oh my god, yesterday he was so nuts after his bath.
He's feeling himself because he smells like a jasmine fart instead of just a regular fart.
Yeah. I was making the podcast intro and he like, this is post bath. You were giving Beans a bath and he was just done. And he was just barking the entire time.
Yeah, I heard him.
Just like running around the house, sprinting. Like, he was so... I couldn't tell if he was pissed, happy.
Right.
Like, irritated, I think, is what it was. He was just irritated.
And he was nice, calm jelly bean.
So, Britney, she's going to be on tour with Rihanna. That'd be fucking wild.
Right.
I mean...
I feel like Britney.
We need it.
We need Britney. I love all the shit she's doing with exposing people, like exposing Justin, exposing the music industry, and she's not being apologetic about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I love that her comebacks are so good, and it's just like she gets the last word, and that's what I like.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a Britney comeback too. Rihanna comeback, I don't think will happen. Sorry.
No.
I just don't think it's gonna happen. It's been when was the last time she?
Like 10 years.
Yeah, it's been like 8 to 10 years now.
Now she's got 3 babies to.
She has 3 kids.
Yeah, I think she's pregnant again.
That's nuts. Hold on.
If ASAP Rocky was my husband,
always with the horniness,
I'd be pregnant all the time.
Okay, where will Britney be, and then where will this podcast be? Do you think?
We're gonna have all of our followers. We're gonna be.
Do you think we'll have 100 followers?
We're gonna be on our world tour as well.
I said no world tour. Like, that'll happen.
I don't know. Wishful thinking.
Oh yeah, I was in a show because we made a new intro for season 2. Hope y'all liked it. Okay, so I use AI to create the intros, but this time around I adjusted them a little bit. Like, I added a filter and like some vinyl, but when we were originally shooting the starting the podcast, I had used this other program that actually made full songs, and so I'm gonna play one of the songs because I just think it's so funny.
With a podcast king,
oh yeah.
Break the ceiling, spreading love and laughter, hearts are healing. With every episode, will make you feel at home. Join the conversation, let's all get known. Stories and laughter will never be alone. Let the good times roll, just play and let it flow. Welcome to the show, sit back. back and relax.
Welcome to. It is a good song in theory.
It's very poppy.
We should probably like remake it. Would that be cool? Like with our voices, but like auto-tuned and
Yeah. Just me singing. But like
we're the
super
podcast. Any other predictions that you can think of?
What else?
I'm trying to think like
I saw this TikTok about how like currently we're in a big era about like technology and stuff like that, you know, with AI and all the, you know, going to the Mars or whatever we're doing, like whatever Elon Musk is doing. But then I saw this new TikTok about how the next 2 years, I think it was 2 years, she said, are going to be more of like a spiritual era. I don't know how to say it, but it's going to be more like about like spirits and ghosts and stuff like that. And we're going to, people are going to get more in tune with like their like inner thoughts and just like all this like, and then we're going to use those to then go into the next chunk of stuff. So like, what am I trying to say? Like deja vu, like people are going to research more of that type of stuff and use that for future technology.
Were you on like a holistic TikTok or
I don't
something?
know what I was on, but it was interesting.
I feel like people are already doing that, like with the what's it called, like astrology and stuff.
Yeah, that
people
too.
are already doing that.
But no, but like, but using it, you know, like people do that. You know, like people look up their horoscopes, or people are like, "Oh, you're a sun, moon, rising." I don't know what they are, but like people talk about it. But now we're actually going to like utilize that for our day-to-day stuff, and we're going to use it in technology going forward. That's
an interesting prediction.
Yeah, that's what this lady said, because she does like numerology and stuff like that.
What if I said that doesn't sound like that will happen?
Oh, I don't know that. I'm just telling you.
Just kidding.
This is what this lady said. Whatever TikTok told
I know.
me.
I'm just kidding.
It's real.
I'm sad because your plant I don't think is surviving.
I also don't think it's surviving. I was just thinking about that. I just, when you were talking a second ago, I zoned out. And
I know.
Was like,
I did the same thing. I'm like, oh, sad. It's every time we come in here, it's worse and worse and worse. So
I should just throw it away.
This is old news, but Texas has been. Did you hear about this? Texas has been blocked permanently from banning drag shows.
Wait, so they can't block them? Is that what?
Right. So you know, there's been legislation to try and get that banned, but those actions have been blocked permanently.
That's good.
I know. I
what
thought that
a
was
stupid
cool.
thing.
That happened like 9 weeks ago, so it's been quite a while. Oh, I wanted to add on, because last podcast we were talking about Macaulay Culkin.
Oh yeah.
Guess why there was a resurgence of Macaulay Culkin? Did you know? He got a star.
Yeah.
That's why he was all. I know that, but last episode we're like, why is he? Making a resurgence, and we're like, it's because it's Christmas and Home Alone's Christmas movie.
No, I knew he got his star.
Oh, then why didn't you say it?
I just assumed you knew that's what he was doing.
No, literally last episode. I was like, I wonder why he's making resurgence, and we're both like hemming and hawing about why. It's like a speech, I'm sure, in reference to like Home Alone, because it's the season or whatever, and I think it's like coming back up or something. Or is there a new Home Alone coming out?
No, it's just like it's a Christmas movie, because
so
that's the whole point. Is that they
getting
go
its resurgence.
They go to Paris or something. Did you know that they have to pay for their own walk of their star? I don't think I would do that then. I'd be like,
I do wonder how much it is.
$50,000, and I think you have to keep it up as well. Like you have to pay to clean it and keep up with it. You know, like if there's people write on it or put stickers or something.
That is so weird. Well, I mean,
I think it would be like an award, you know, like it's a brag, you know, like you get an Oscar. They don't pay for their Oscars.
I think you have to qualify too, though, right? Or no?
I don't think so. I think I could just buy one. I think I could just buy one.
You can just buy one.
Me, myself. We're going to get one for the pod.
They would deny it, though, because you don't have any work. I think you have to have, like, work.
I was in a play once.
Okay.
Anyway.
Let's screw the 100 subscribers. Let's get Zach a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Let's do it. We're going to do
it. Okay, so last episode we talked about the Matrix being like a metaphor for, well, they call it an allegory. I don't, because it's not necessarily a metaphor, and it's like trans story.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Did you see Sammy watched it?
yeah.
She's like, I'm watching this because of
Yeah,
the podcast.
she's like, I
It's
was like, we want to rewatch it too. So just like more info. This is an article from Screen Rant because they were interviewed later. One of the sisters was interviewed later. Somebody asked one of the sisters again, and they said, no, I didn't confirm the Matrix is a trans allegory. So that came from an interview I did for Disclosure. They had a bunch of Matrix questions, and the question they asked me was about Switch, who was originally written as a trans character who is male in the real world and female in the Matrix, and they took that response and attached the question that everyone now references, that it's a trans allegory. So just, I guess, Disclosure kind of like twisted her words a little.
Oh.
So there's just one character who is trans in the show. And so it's slightly out of context, but I don't sit here and put a stink up about it because it's a trans allegory and that it was written by two closeted trans women. And so all the things that are in it are super duper trans. The idea of transformation, even the whole "my name is Neo, Mr. Anderson," that idea of claiming identity, it's undeniable. So she didn't specifically confirm that it's a trans allegory, but she's not stopping at it either because it's obvious that it is kind of. With all the decisions we made with that film, there's just the burbling transness simmering below everything. So when I look back at the way that we cast those two parts, I can see how obvious it is that they're one part in a lot of ways, that they're two sides of the same coin. It's not like we're conscious decisions, but more like we're finding our way instinctively as these two closeted trans women. So all those things that your receptors are buzzing about are completely valid. When people say, oh, it's a trans allegory, it's like, yeah, but we weren't like, hey, let's write a trans allegory. That's not how it started. We were like, hey, let's write this action film. And then we got our trans all over it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it wasn't like the intention to make it extremely trans. It just kind of like happened my notes are all over the place, so I apologize. But one of my favorite things, and it feels like forever since we shot the podcast, but it's only been 2 weeks. So
yeah.
Right?
We skipped 1 week.
Yeah, so 2 weeks.
You put one out and then we skipped, and now we're here.
But in that 2 weeks, I got to experience Amy Adams in a fat suit.
Oh my god. Yeah, Thomas is revisiting Smallville.
I'm rewatching Smallville because Zach doesn't want to rewatch it with me. I don't watch it. But we have been watching because there's a podcast it's Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling, and then their producer Ryan.
Yeah.
And it's called Talkville, and they're rewatching the podcast or rewatching Smallville and like doing commentary or whatever after each episode that they rewatch, and it's just been really interesting.
Yeah, I'm liking the podcast. I think that's just how my brain operates now. I don't really like consuming things unless it's in podcast form. I don't know why. Because that's why I like the Rewatcher podcast, the one about Buffy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's giving me all the feels when I watched Buffy originally, which I think is fun.
And then it's like people talking about it because like that's kind of what you want to do. Like when Amy Adams came on a fat suit, I had to pause it and show you because I'm like, what?
Amy Adams, who's way more famous than all of them put together. And then there was somebody else.
But that was like one of her first gigs for sure. Yep. It had to have been because then obviously she went on to do better things. And it was funny because I was rewatching that episode, or I watched the episode, paused it, like died the entire time because in the episode of Smallville, Amy Adams plays this girl. And if you haven't watched Smallville, you probably should because it is actually really good.
It's really good.
The FX 20 years ago, the FX were fucking nuts, but they still pulled it off. It was kind of crazy. But she plays this girl that's like trying to lose weight. That's like her, goal. And it is kind of a triggering episode because I'm sure if you had an eating disorder, she has an eating disorder because she's like starving herself, but she eats. And if you don't know Smallville, it's how Superman grew up.
Yeah, his teenage years.
Yeah, his teenage years. So Well, Amy Adams is the villain in this episode, and she starts consuming a smoothie that has herbs that were made with kryptonite fertilizer. So the kryptonite fertilizer infected these greens, and it made her like this monster that has to consume everything. And so she starts off like thicker in a fat suit, and I'm like,
and it's funny because like you could tell it's a fat suit too, you know,
for
like
sure.
like me, like I look naturally like round, you know, whatever. But hers was like it was like
they added a chin strap.
It was like a
to
fat
her.
double chin.
So
it's like
funny.
You could clearly see this is Amy Adams'
It was
face.
a good fat suit though.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny, but like I guess I just know because
oh, so then in the episode they reduced the fat suit because the smoothie makes her skinnier and skinnier. Like within seconds, it's like draining all her fat immediately, and that's what causes her to become a monster because she has to consume so much to feed the kryptonite that's in her. Like one scene, she's full fat suit and she looks like Shallow Hal, kind of.
yeah.
And then the next scene, you know, it gets smaller and smaller, and then finally it's Amy Adams underneath the fat suit.
Yeah, and she's smoking hot, you know. So
Yeah.
I love those.
But it is a, like, looking back, it is kind of a bad episode because, yeah, if you had an eating disorder, imagine, like, oh, I wish I could get my hands on a smoothie like that.
Yeah, I wish I had a kryptonite smoothie so I could.
Oh my god!
So I could lose weight.
Have you seen the TikTok that's? I gotta show it to you. So last episode we talked about how, like, the Senate top and bottom.
Oh yeah.
Made that sex scene.
Oh, lube.
Lube.
That's so accurate.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. So a little tie back into
The last one.
the last episode. So speaking of Sheryl Crow,
Oh yeah, we were talking about her.
like our first or second episode, we were talking about Sheryl Crow. She dropped a new song. Did you hear
Ooh,
it?
No. All I wanna do is have
The song is called
some
Alarm
fun.
Clock. You'll get our live reaction right now. Ah.
Ah. This is giving
Nope,
me.
listen. It sounds like the chipmunk. Sorry, I had to pause you there because that's the worst part of the song, I think. Like chipmunk.
Yeah. This is giving me early 2000s. I can see Avril singing this.
I was gonna say Madonna's
Oh yeah. 100%.
Time Goes By. Every little thing that you say or do, I'm hung up on you.
This is I could see or like somebody random like Lindsay Lohan singing this. Or Paris Hilton singing it.
It's giving Yzma as a cat.
I'm going to kill you.
Oh, well,
I know.
I don't know if this is going to be her comeback song. But
I
we'll
don't
see.
think so.
2024 prediction, Sheryl Crow comes back.
That's why my.
See, I think of things like this too. Like you listen to this as Sheryl Crow and you were like, I'm going to post this. I'm going
to hit send on
I'm going to hit
this.
send on this. And
Megan sent it to me and I was like, that is not Sheryl Crow.
that is not Sheryl Crow.
That's not who I grew up with.
Good for her.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm not a singer, so I can't really talk, but I feel like when you're at Sheryl Crow status and then you put something like that out.
Well, and I think it's giving like I don't have any more ideas.
Yes.
And so, yeah, everybody hates their alarm clock. Like, was she going for relatability there? I don't know.
Yeah.
And like, I just hate the repeating. I hate repeating like in songs when it's like, you know, repeating but not finishing the sentence.
Mhm.
It drives me nuts. That's why I hate my like I hate that.
What else we got for the day?
Next on the docket, Amanda Bynes made a comeback.
Yes. Oh,
This is so interesting.
2024 prediction, Amanda Bynes for president.
Oh yeah, but Amanda Bynes came back with a podcast, as one does. I mean, who doesn't have a podcast now? And I don't even know the guest and her guest star or her like co-host or whatever. I don't remember the names. Well, here's the one.
Listen, we need to get this out there. The guy that Amanda has made this podcast with is not a scientist. He's claiming to her that he's a scientist. He is my old roommate. He is a sociopath. He had lied to me, said he was a scientist for like over 7 years. We were friends. I would be his cat sitter and dog sitter when he would go out of town for over 7 years. And then one day we moved in together. I went out of town and he sacrificed my dog's life, unalived him to a blood moon or something, and then deleted all the footage and then lied about it for months and months and months, and then left, like literally went outside for a cigarette and left the moment that I got into the security footage because he knew there was videos of him doing it on there. This is a dog that he bought. He stole my money. I didn't know that at the time, but yeah, he bought this dog and literally left her. Okay? Literally left.
Okay, so that's,
Going to UCLA, or he was
I don't know
State
what his name is. Anyways, so she came back with a co-host on this podcast, and I just hate, like, as a public, you know, the love for Amanda Bynes is on, you know, it's like Britney Spears, it's like, you know, Miley Cyrus, you know, she could do no wrong, even though she has been in a negative light in the public. Like, I remember seeing a TikTok of her like a year ago, and she was like not well. Like somebody was like helping her walk on the sidewalk.
Oh yeah,
because she just was not well. And you know, back then, let's say even 2010, like 2015 and earlier, this would have been like, oh my god, she's like, what is wrong with her?
right.
Like drug addict, like scandal, blah blah blah. But now at least people have identified like drug abuse is a disease and addiction is a disease. It's not somebody, like, it's not like she's choosing to be this drug, you know, addict or whatever. But in the podcast, I couldn't even watch it because I'm like, I could just tell that she was just like so like locked up,
Oh yeah.
like mentally, you know.
Well, and I think people said she was a drug addict and she was crazy, but now we're learning she just has bipolar.
Yeah,
and
but I think she was into drugs at some point.
right.
Too.
Yeah, I agree. But
Yeah.
then I think what the main thing was, they're probably trying to finagle her medication, so
yeah,
she could
well,
be.
and she's under conservatorship,
that.
just like Britney.
Yeah.
So it's like, who really knows what's going on?
Right. Is she under conservatorship because she's a drug addict, or is she being pumped full of drugs to keep milking her paycheck?
Yeah.
You know, like shit. Like
Well, I mean,
Britney.
she doesn't do anything now, so it's kind of hard to say what's going on.
Right.
But, and you know, maybe she is doing really well, and that's why she is making the podcast.
Mhm.
But then apparently her co-host is like a clout chaser and like only does it to like be close to Amanda and is all these awful things. And then it came out that she was quitting the podcast. You know, even they, as far as I know right now, they've only came out with one episode. But she made a TikTok and she's like, I'm quitting the podcast until I can get better guest stars.
So even though the podcast is doing really well and the response has been great, I am going to take a pause on it for now. We are not able to get the type of guests that I'd like on the show, like say Jack Harlow or Drake or Post Malone. So maybe one day, if we're able to get those types of guests on the show, we will resume the podcast. But for now, I'm taking a pause on it. Thank you everyone who watched. I really hope you enjoyed it. And that is all for now.
But then
Big
everybody's
names.
like, no, don't quit. Like, that's how you start off, is, you know, with smaller guest stars, and you get better and better, and you get
you
bigger
stumble.
and bigger.
You stumble right away.
Yeah. And so then she made another TikTok and she's like, I'm not quitting the podcast.
So I wanted to post something about how I felt last night after I made a post that we were pausing the podcast. I felt really sad and I was like in a really bad mood because the podcast was actually something that I was really looking forward to filming next week, and it was something that I was really happy and excited about. So I talked to a few friends and they all said to keep going. So we're going to continue the podcast and we are filming next Friday as planned. I think that podcasts just take time to grow, like to build a following. So I shouldn't have said what I said last night about like not getting the type of guests that we were looking forward to getting, because you never know, we might get them in the future. And the guests that we have lined up are actually really great. So I'm really looking forward to filming the next episode, and that's about it.
And so it's been kind of a fiasco.
Yeah, I did hear that she didn't have a good start. Yeah, I also heard that he was like a moocher, like a clinger on, clout chaser.
You know what's giving to me, in my personal opinion, when PETA in the Hunger Games gets captured by the Capitol, and then he's on that talk show.
Oh yeah.
And they're like grilling him, you know, like, what do you say about Katniss Everdeen? And he's like, obviously tortured, brainwashed, tortured to like say these things. And like that's kind of what it's giving me, because obviously it's been like 10-15 years since what she's made. I don't know what her last movie was.
He's the Man.
No, it was not.
I don't know. That's silly.
But I'm saying, like, she used to have her own like talk show. I know it was on Nickelodeon and stuff, but she used to be so like witty and like in interviews and stuff, and witty and like, you know, funny. And but now it's just giving like held hostage.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to speculate and bring negativity and like, but it's alarming to me.
Yeah.
And like that's why I couldn't watch the episode, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it could be that she's live and well, and the reason why she's kind of a robotic is because of her medication and stuff.
Or nervous, like you said.
Yeah, or nervous.
I think.
But I'm like, it seems like it's giving like reading a prompter. And,
I think she's reading something for sure.
Yeah, and like she can't talk without it almost.
Mm-hmm.
So I just worry for her.
I know. That's why I like. That was like her and Brittany. Or even like when Lindsay Lohan was going through all the crazy drug drama and legal drama and stuff like that. And I'm just like I don't know these people, but I'm like, oh, like I just want to scoop them up and and hold them.
I just hope like the fame and and it's Amanda Bynes, like she's up there with, it's like Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes, like she's Paris all up there.
Yeah,
Paris Hilton. Yep, exactly.
I just want them to all do well, and it's like I don't know these people, like I'm friends with them.
Well, you just because they were such a iconic moment in our lives. It's like hard to watch them like struggle.
Right, exactly.
And like that one TikTok that I saw like a year or two ago, it was like heartbreaking to just like see her like a shell of a person. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's kind of like Wendy Williams now.
Yeah,
I used to watch Wendy Williams all the time, and now she's like. Her eyes are always huge and big, and you could just tell like she's just not there.
Like you've seen that too. The last, like she's being like held captive.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that.
Oh, and as the public, we only speculate. We don't really know what's going on, and maybe she is being held for her own betterment.
Right, that's true.
Because being in the public eye is not good. But the last thing that we saw, like the last time she was like in front of cameras or gave a update or whatever, it was like a year ago, and we're told that she's like in I don't know, some state,
it's
some like health clinic or whatever, but like we haven't seen her, so it's like what really is going on, but again, it's not for us to like worry about, I suppose, but you just want to know,
right?
Same with Amanda Bynes. I just want to know, like, is it nerves or are you like in trouble?
Right. Blink twice if you need help.
Blink twice if you need help.
Brittany, I feel like she's trying to make something and do something with her book and come back and stuff like that. And it's like, can Amanda Bynes ever come back and be Amanda Bynes?
I don't think. I mean, from what I've seen, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Like something like with like a Lindsay Lohan, she had that.
I mean, she's kind of come back now.
She had that Christmas movie. I think now it's 2 years, but. Everyone was like, yes, Lindsay Lohan come back, but then everybody just shit on this movie And so it's like I can see why that would be discouraging, and I'd be like, never mind, I'm just gonna keep doing my whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. And then the Walmart commercial for Mean Girls.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That was funny. Next topic, the MSC cruise. Have you heard?
The what?
I think we talked about this a little bit, but it's a cruise that's going on for 9 months.
Oh yes, I saw a little thing about it. I would go crazy. I think cruises are so stressful. I hate traveling. I hate trips in general. So, like, I hate going away for a few days. Like, the few days is so stressful. I rarely have fun.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm always at a level 10. So
But
9
months
months
on a boat, dude.
No, I would need to be medicated.
And imagine, like, because I don't know if I think I have seasickness to some degree, because I get sick in a car.
Yeah.
If we're driving for too long. If I'm not the one driving, like, it has to be me, the one controlling. I don't know why it, like, does something with my brain. If I'm not driving, I have to be, like, if it's more than, like, an hour, let's say, or 2 hours, I have to be, like, in a meditative state.
Sleeping.
Because I'll be so sick, like, if I'm, like, reading a book or on my phone or something, or, like, playing a game, I'll get so sick. And so, like, I just couldn't imagine 9 months. I would be skinny.
Yeah. Thomas is barfing for 9 months straight. He comes out, he's like a model.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like 9 months on a cruise ship, they probably repeat events. You know, it's like,
oh, but
it's the same
get this
singer every Friday or something, where it's like,
I have
to listen to the fake Cher.
I didn't tell you anything because I kind of want to talk about it on the podcast, but so there were, like, have you seen TikToks and stuff of it?
I've heard of it, but I haven't looked into anything else.
Okay, so I've only seen a couple TikToks too, but apparently, okay, so the first TikTok that I've ever seen, and I think it was actually one of the first because they were, like, boarding and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was this black lady, and she's like, I'm going to be on this cruise for 9 months, and I've already gotten mistaken for crew member.
Oh.
You know, the staff, the help. Yeah. And
Hello.
then when I explain that I'm not a crew member, but in fact, on this cruise, bought a ticket, I'm here for 9 months, they ask her how she can afford it.
If I get asked if I work on this ship one more time, started out at the pre-cruise gala, it was assumed that I must be working. After I said I was not working, then I was asked, was I independently wealthy? Like, basically, how did you afford this? Now, one of the crew members assumed that I was not a guest when getting back on the ship from an excursion. It's going to be a long 9 months.
Unreal.
It's like, oh.
With my job? What do you mean?
And I just saw this TikTok that was like maybe 5 days ago. So the status could have changed by now, but the internet and Wi-Fi went down.
So we are on MSC and the Wi-Fi is all down. They are still charging us for food and everything. The screens are down. The stores are still charging or whatnot. My little baby got sick last night. He started throwing up and he was pooping everywhere or whatnot.
He ate carrots. My mom ate tuna and potato salad, and they all got sick. Projectile vomiting.
Yes.
And diarrhea.
Yes, and they're telling us we're just sitting in the middle of the sea. We're literally not moving. The TVs are not working. Wi-Fi is not working. The phones are not working.
And they're telling us don't come to the front desk.
And don't come to the front desk. MSC cruise, and we're on a Mirabilia. We were supposed to go to Bahamas. We are in
middle of the ocean.
We're in the middle of the ocean right now, and we're just sitting here.
Nope. I'm trapped. This is ghost ship. Everyone.
Yeah, they're gonna come back and it's gonna be nothing.
They're all gonna be dead. They're
For
all gonna
real.
Be decapitated.
Beam me up. I'm out of here.
I did see a post, or I don't know if it was on TikTok or something. There's this couple and they're in their 50s or whatever. They're not old, they're not like retired snowbirds, whatever, and they solely live on a cruise because it's cheaper than owning a home.
Damn.
And I'm like, and they're like, we haven't seen our family or our children for months. We don't we've gone all over the world, and we have so much money in our bank account because
That's
it's
crazy.
cheaper. It's cheaper than owning a home in America. And I'm like, that's fucking bananas.
I went on like a mini. It was whale watching.
Ooh, fun.
But it was on a cruise ship, and we still got to like eat. Like they provided a meal, so it was like a cruise, but it was a 1 day whale watch and then come back.
Did you see any whales?
Just not like, because they breach,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like what you're going for. Just the ripples, so they were like coming, but they went down, and we didn't get to see it.
You saw like their fin or whatever.
No, we didn't get to see a fin or anything, but
Ooh.
the like waves
they created.
of the tail or whatever. So that's the only thing. But I do remember one specific thing that I remember is the desserts, and they were divine. And I remember eating like 4. That this is where I figured out, because when I was younger, I thought pecan pie was like nasty.
Oh yeah,
but then
it looks gross.
Yeah, that's why it looks nasty. But then I actually tried one on this cruise. It was little like treacle or whatever. What would you call it? A tart?
Isn't that a Pokemon?
No.
Oh,
a little tart, pecan tart or whatever. And that's how I discovered that I love pecan pie, was on a cruise ship in Hawaii. Cool story.
Cool story.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't like to go on a cruise. I would just feel trapped, and then it's if my phone
fine, but not 9 months.
If my phone went out,
I like ground.
I'd be like, you're the captain, give me your phone now. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck if you need it to call the reserves to save us. I'm calling my own personal helicopter that you're gonna pay for.
Like,
get me out of here.
I should look up some updates, but
nope, I would go crazy.
So that must have been, obviously they must have gotten internet to post those TikToks, so I'm sure the update since then has been fine. But and you can hit the heart.
Oh, no. Yassified Buzz Lightyear.
Yassified Bluzz Lightyear.
The tongue. Oh my god.
The nails.
The cigarette. Oh, the hair.
Cunty Buzz Lightyear.
That's so funny.
I have to bring, this one's a different creator this time, but I gotta bring a Yassified something.
Yassified something.
We are skipping the gay of the day.
Yeah,
one, because I had so many topics and like we talk about gay things in there, so we're just skipping that segment. I'm out of topics unless you have something before we go to Reddit stories.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Reddit stories.
Reddit stories. I'll go first.
Okay.
Unless you have a burning one. We'll just do one each too, because we only have like 7 minutes left.
Okay.
And our sisters are coming.
Yeah, we're on a time crunch. They're gonna show up any moment.
There's a flare for Am I the Asshole on Reddit called Poo Mode Activated.
Oh, yep, I saw
What
that.
is that?
I think that's mine. I think it's, that's exactly my story as well. It has Poo Mode activated.
Is that just like shitty? That must be a shitty.
I think, maybe
like shitty friends, shitty relatives or something.
Maybe it's middle of the road, like you're not the asshole, but you're also not like a good, but like you're middle of the road kind of.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Let's see, maybe. Am I the asshole for opening a fake gift during a family Christmas party?
Okay.
Every year, my family does Christmas at my mom's, and she insists that we open all presents together, even gifts between spouses, etc. First off, that's insane.
Like they're all opening up the gifts all at the same time? Or just...
Well, no, just all together.
Oh,
so
okay.
Let's say, you know how, like, I feel like this is so normal, where you have gifts, like, as spouse, we have gifts for each other that we open whenever we're celebrating our own personal Christmas, usually on Christmas Day. And maybe we'll bring more gifts, like to make sure that we're opening something.
Right.
But we haven't really in the past couple of years, like for each other.
Right. And it's usually something appropriate, like,
socks or something, just like small, so that you're opening a gift together. But we have, like I said, we haven't really done that.
Yeah.
Past couple of years. But that's normal, where you know, the big gifts are between you and us, because that would be awkward if I'm like, here, you know, like Zach got me a 3D printer. Imagine he brought that to the family Christmas. That'd be so like awkward. Anyways, already off the bat, I don't think you're the asshole. It's normally an okay tradition, but sometimes it can spark jealousy or comparison between families, which is why you don't do that. So this year, my husband saved up and bought me my dream designer handbag for Christmas. I know some people aren't into that, but it's something that I truly love. We're not well off, but we're not doing poorly either. But I knew that the handbag would cause a lot of discussion amongst my siblings and parents. I just didn't want their opinions and criticisms to ruin a special gift my husband worked so hard to get for me. So this year, my husband got me an extra gift that wasn't the real gift. It was a moderately priced skincare set. Christmas came and went without drama, but I recently posted a picture of my husband and our kids at dinner, and my handbag could be seen hanging off the back of my chair. One of my friends commented underneath about how gorgeous my Christmas gift was as well. Long story short, word got back to my family and they totally blew up. Some were annoyed that I opened a private gift separately from the family.
Okay.
Others were criticizing the price of the gift. Wonder why I didn't open it in front of the family.
Right.
My siblings are now calling me disingenuous for harboring a secret gift, and they said that I did it because I think I am better than them. Which is like the automatic opposite. Like, that's why I did it, so that you wouldn't think that.
Well, or like back to your 3D printer that came 5 days after Christmas. So like, what if he was?
Right, that could have anything. That could have been anything.
What if it was on back order or something, and he got it, you know, a week after Christmas or something?
I didn't open it with them because I didn't want their opinions, but now I'm starting to feel like an asshole for keeping it a secret. I knew either way they'd all criticize me though, since it's so much more expensive than all the other gifts. So I don't know whether or not I'm wrong. Not the asshole.
No.
That's super awkward.
That's super rude. That's super random. And to piggyback off your story, I think it's a control thing. Like, it's so, like, you don't need to be in control of everything. Like, and I would say that too. I'd be like, no, mother-in-law, I'm not going to open up all of my gifts with everybody, because
it's
what
also...
if it is a personal inside story? Like, it's a personal inside joke, or it's a personal inside memory or something. Now I have to explain it to all 20 people that are there. Like, no, I don't have time.
Yeah. There is something about gift giving too, especially among spouses, that does feel so like only for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got you a freaking, which now I'm going to share it for the world, but I got us a walkie-talkie set.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like giggle haha, and then like to have to explain that to everybody, that would have been so dumb.
Right.
You know?
People would be like, why don't you just text each other? And it's like, because walkie-talkies are funny.
Yeah. And so I got Zach and I, which I think I already explained, walkie-talkies. So when we're working from home, instead of like texting, we can just be like, Psh, what are you doing? You know, like, Psh, I'm bored.
Bring me a sandwich.
Yeah. Like, just stupid stuff like that. Or like, if, you know, we haven't really used it too often, but I just thought it was funny, you know, and to like open that in front of family and be like, oh, you know, you want something to be funny haha and not like funny mocked.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would not, it's not that my family would mock us, but there would be like, oh, like, okay, you know.
Right. That was
just like dumb.
That was a waste of $20, you know, or just something like snide or like that, you know.
And not to say that my family would do that or your family would do that.
Yeah, no.
And, you know, they probably wouldn't, but it's just like to avoid the possibility.
Yes, exactly. Let's just cut it off right before it even gets there.
Because it's like, I thought that was a funny, cute present, and I just wouldn't want somebody to be like, oh, that's dumb. Yeah. I'm like, fuck you.
Right. Because then you think about it and you're like, oh, is it dumb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call it canoodling, when you're like canoodling with your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
If the outside world saw that, it would be so cringe. Like canoodling in public, you know, when you're like, oh, like, no, you're like, like, no, you're cute.
You hang up.
No, you hang up. Between spouses, like, you just love those. Like, it's like the best moments in the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, imagine somebody watching all of those, like, so embarrassing. Because you're like, oh, like, oh.
Yeah, like when we tease each other and we poke fun at each other.
Just like stupid shit. And so it's kind of like that, but like being forced to in public.
But then,
no, thank you.
That's also like another good thing to like you know, like your 3D printer, I wouldn't want to open that in front of the kids because then they're going to be like, put it together now. Let's do 3D printing now. Let's do it now. And it's like, no, like you'd have to tell people no. Or like the money aspect of it, like we're well off enough to buy a designer purse. And, you know, not what, like we're rich, but like we're doing okay. So I can treat my wife with a designer purse.
Well, kind of like the 3D printer too. That wasn't cheap.
And then my brother Bob has no money and he's eating at the food shelf. Well, now he feels shitty because he can't get his wife a designer purse.
Yeah.
And then also I'd probably feel a smidge guilty and be like, I could have probably given my brother that money instead of bought my wife a designer purse.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just like the snowball effect of why you don't open up gifts like that in front of your family or, you know.
And it is kind of sad that Christmas has come to that. Like,
I have to plot and plan my gifts.
And like worry about how this looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like spending so much money. A couple of years ago, I had my immediate family, I had said like we should just stop doing gifts because I had felt that like I was just gifting and, you know, not to their, not saying that that's negative or whatever, but I just felt like I was buying them junk that they were throwing away. And like kind of like vice versa. And so I'm like, why don't we just stop this?
Right.
And we could just all just like come together and eat food. And so now my side of the family, we don't do gifts anymore. And it is so nice.
Yeah. I think or like just giving like small gifts, like practical gifts, like
or like made like homemade gifts.
Yes, that's
like I like those too.
Yeah, or like
as my sister bought us gifts.
People should always buy us gifts.
Yeah,
that's fine. But us giving gifts isn't going to happen.
So it's just like sad that Christmas like has come to that like this dance of like like how much am I spending on everybody and like how much am I spending on my spouse and like how much am I spending on, you know, like, and even like between us, and it's not, you know, not that I truly care about stuff like this, but like I think even between spouses you're kind of measuring, which like you over.
Yeah, but you deserve everything.
No, but like measuring like, oh, you bought this much for me this year, so now I have to kind of like go overboard next year because you did all this stuff for me this year. And it's not that I actually do that and like keep tabs and stuff, but you just like think about stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
That's what Christmas has come to. It's like trying to impress.
Yeah. Well, we used to, back when I was younger, we would pick everybody's names out of a hat, and that's who we would buy for, and we had a $20 limit. Nobody followed the $20 limit.
Yeah.
Like, and then it would also be like,
that's the thing.
Like, it would always be like some family members were really savvy and they would find cool stuff at garage sales or thrift stores, which I think is cool. And then they'd spend $20 and get 10 things for me. And then, you know, somebody would only get one $20 item, and that would also cause a fight. So it's like, this person really thought it out and bought a bunch of little things instead of just one big item. But then the kids would get mad because why does Zach have 10 presents and I only have 2? You know, shit like that.
I remember being a part of this in your family at the last, because they don't do it now.
No, not anymore.
Yeah. It's like the last couple of days. I remember the one time you drew a name, you're like, you and picked another name. Do you remember that?
No.
Because you got, what's his name? You drew and you're like, no.
Oh, that's so mean.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God. And you did that like in front of, because everybody's there drawing, and you're like, you know.
I don't remember that at all.
I was like, damn, savage.
What the hell?
So yeah, not the asshole, just to sum it up.
So me and my husband got married. Just got married this January, but the wedding was an absolute mess. For context, my husband has a very close-knit family that doesn't take well to outsiders, surprises, or change.
Oh, so Republican.
Oh, yep.
Right-wing conspiracy nuts. Got it.
Dude.
So racists.
Racists, yeah, right. Most family reunions and gatherings don't allow +1s or spouses, just immediate family, which I also think is creepy. I think that's culty. Like, why wouldn't you want...
In a wedding?
This is anything. Family reunions or gatherings do not allow +1s or spouses.
Oh, their family.
Husband's family. Yeah.
Their husband's family, like reunions and stuff, don't allow spouses?
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
I wouldn't go.
I guess I wouldn't. I'd be fine if like.
Ew, imagine just like your spouseless families.
What do you? Yeah.
Like,
why wouldn't you want?
That would just be weird. It's like, oh, and I forgot to add on the last post, which this is giving that too. It's just like a clutching for keeping the like past.
Yeah.
They let go of the past.
Let go of the. Well, that's what I'm thinking
and that's
too.
what
Like
my post was like. You could tell the parents are just clinging on to the past
traditions in the past. Well, I think of this as like, why wouldn't you want your kid's spouse to come with? Because it's like they're now part of the family, and then let's say they have children. Well, then they're part of the family. Their
children can play with their like everybody's children.
So then it's like, okay, no spouses, but your kids can come because they're technically part of the family.
I feel like people only go so that they can bring their spouse.
I would specifically say like, if Thomas isn't going, I'm not going.
Right, exactly, because. That's your like, that's your home.
Yeah.
And so you're saying, no, you can't bring your home with. That's
well,
like, well, okay, I don't want to go because like, who am I going to talk to?
And then I also feel like we're really good at like.
Well, and like, yeah.
Like, it'd be really awful if somebody would get in the car right now and.
It's just like your comfort, you know?
Like,
it's like your comfort animal or whatever.
Exactly.
You're stuffy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're my blankie. You're my security blanket. But yeah, like. I feel like that's what you do with your spouse too. You're like, "Kaka, we gotta go," to leave. Each of my in-laws have wives and husbands, yet they still aren't allowed to come to the majority of the family events. So fortunately, it's not just me.
That would be like prison, like no joke. I'd arrive to those things and be like, "Hi guys."
Right. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So, she's like, before the wedding, I never had a problem with them. Now let's talk about the wedding. The wedding was planned for New Year's Day, since that was the day we met, the day Ben asked me to be his girlfriend, and the day he proposed. So that holiday has always been special to us. Everyone agreed that New Year's Day was a perfect day for the wedding, so no issues there. Unfortunately, we did have a problem with other things. Ben's family has a lot of odd traditions that they do, and over the years, I've put up with them and embraced them. They include having a homemade sheet cake rather than a professional wedding cake, wearing all white, and having all of the children walk up the aisle to toss flowers rather than one designated.
That is giving called.
Yeah, having one designated flower boy or girl.
No.
However,
so their family has traditions that they force on the wedding?
The children, yeah, on weddings.
That's so rotten because your wedding is like your one thing that you have like control over. Or like your family.
You have a vision in your head. I want my wedding to go.
Yeah, I want my wedding to be A, B, and C, and not like what my family has always done.
What my mother-in-law wants. Yeah.
That's so weird. Just imagine being the like in-law, and you're like, oh, my mom wants to like have all the kids do it. Like, I'd be like, what?
That also just sounds chaotic. Trying to like, because it's like if it's 3 kids, sure, you could probably wrangle it, but it's like, what if it's a big family and there's 20 children or something? Bananas?
It just is giving called.
It's giving called, and continue. Then forcing your beliefs on your children before they even know what's going on. They don't even know what a wedding is. I wanted the wedding to be good for both of us, so I made some compromises. We could have the homemade sheet cake, but we both had to agree on the flavor and design. Anyone could wear what they wanted besides white, and there would be no children at the wedding at all. My husband suggested that, not me. So the husband's trying to break tradition and saying no children. We talked to both of our families, and everyone agreed that these rules and boundaries were fine. The day of the wedding came, and my side of the family was dressed appropriately. No children were present. Everything was great. Then Ben's family came. There were lots of children and babies. Everyone was wearing all white. Apparently, their traditions are more important than what we had to say. Only 3 people actually respected these rules. The spouse of Ben's siblings. Ben and I were mortified. We immediately kicked them out and allowed the 3 people who followed the rules to stay, but they left with their partners, which we didn't mind. The wedding went on as normal, but we felt ruined. We ended up canceling the post-wedding celebration after some of his family members snuck inside. After we came back from our honeymoon, we were both berated by his family members and basically shunned from his family.
I'd be like, deuces.
I feel guilty for not allowing them to practice. I feel guilty for not allowing them to practice their traditions. In updated info, both of our families are from the Midwest, and my husband says that there surprisingly isn't a history of incest.
Oh.
That took a turn. Okay. Cult? It's a cult. I'm shocked by the comments. For the longest time, I thought my husband's family was just weird, but you guys really opened my eyes. I think I was blinded by love for the longest time, and I never really saw the bigger picture here.
Yeah, that's hard because it's like, oh, family.
Yeah.
You could write a whole book. Comment on your story. Yes, it's very culty, weird, awkward.
Yeah, I think it's very culty. I think it's cult-like behavior. I'd be fucking livid. I would tell my family, I'd be like, no, you have to leave.
Yeah.
I said, especially like white. I know that's like a common tradition. Like only the bride should be wearing white. And so like, why would you wear white? Why would everybody wear white? That seems like a cult thing. Like everybody wears the same robes. Everybody wears the same, dresses or whatever. So I'd be like, no, you can't. You can go home and change. Hurry, because the wedding's starting. If you go home and change or go to Walmart and get a new outfit, then you can come back and then like, go bring your children home.
And like I said, like your wedding is supposed to be like your like a melding of families, and like it's so something everybody can enjoy, and like also like something that you can like build and control and like create your own,
Yeah.
So that's just, and like all white, that's so weird. That is so culty.
And then especially the children,
especially like people showed up in all white even though they were told no. Like,
yeah,
that's weird.
That's where I'd be like, no, especially the kids. So like, I think kids are fine. If you can control your children, obviously you should do that. But if you want the ceremony to go streamline, no crying, no baby poops, like nothing, like let's have the children can come to the after party or something, like that's cool. But if I say no children for my wedding because I don't want to hear crying in my wedding video, you leave your kid at home. You get a babysitter. If you can't get a babysitter, you don't come. Very simple.
Right.
But then I would also take this as, if they're not respecting me for this one day, this one situation, they're definitely not going to respect me for the rest of our marriage. So
and then, like,
I don't want them around.
They like outed them. I'd be like, thank God.
Yeah, I'm glad they kicked him out.
Yeah,
I think that's smart.
For sure.
I don't think we had to kick anybody out of our wedding.
Well, no, I'm saying their family like got rid, like ostracized them or whatever.
Oh yeah, I'd be like,
thank
okay,
God, like
that's, yeah, that's
see
fine.
you later.
Right, that is okay by me.
But yeah, my sisters are here, so
yeah, sorry,
we're gonna end the
we gotta cut this short. Less commenting.
Like, subscribe, comment. You can comment on YouTube and you can comment on Apple Podcasts. I just discovered this. I don't think there's a way to comment on Spotify.
I don't know. But
so
tell your friends.
Yes, tell your friends.
Spread the word.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Hope your days are amazing.
We'll see you next year. Oh, wait, it is next year.
It is next year.
God damn
See
it.
you this year.
See you this year. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Flamingly Unfiltered.
Now available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok to keep up with the podcast.
Start the week off strong every Monday with Zach and Thomas.